All right, folks, let's get to work. We're coming out to the outside of the, what was that? Uh-oh, my no trespassing sign's getting torn up. Gotta fix that. Anyway, guys, we're coming out here to this, we got a Toyota Sequoia today. You guys remember these things? I believe this is a 2016 Sequoia. It's got a 5.7 liter V8, and it's got a couple odd complaints on it, to tell you the truth. I'm looking at the repair order. You guys can't see except in the reflection, but I'm looking at the RO here, and it wants me to check fluids, check the belt, check the spark plugs. That's pretty normal. Uh-oh. Alarm. There we go. Now it's safe. Okay, so the next complaint, this one's getting weird. It says customer supplied alignment tabs and they would like to have those welded on. So we're gonna weld something on maybe, and it's shaky after the customer rotated the tires, and he would like the brakes greased. I guess he installed brakes and did not grease them. Okay, so the customer did a brake job and it's making noise. And we've got, oh my, I guess these are the alignment tabs, alignment cam gussets. Okay, I think I know what we're doing here. So the lower control arms on this thing, they have the ability for adjustment, and some of the vehicles did not have the provision to make the adjustment. So there's going to be a bolt and a bolt for the lower control arms, and then there's an eccentric cam on both sides of that bolt, and that cam is going to ride between a couple tabs that's part of the subframe. As you turn the bolt, the cam will move the bolt within a slot in the frame, and that's going to adjust the position of the control arms, and that's how you can set up wheel alignment. So apparently this vehicle is not equipped with the alignment tab cams that it's supposed to have, and he would like those tab cams welded on. That way we can perform and adjust wheel alignment. Okay, that makes some sense. So let's go drive this real quick. Yeah, we got a squeak. Definitely got a squeak. Let's drive it, feel the vibration, listen for more squeaks and squeals and whatnots, and then we'll go ahead and bring it inside, rack it up, take a gander at the underneath carriage, and then figure out what's ailing this particular Toyota. So stay tuned. This should develop into a fairly decent educational and entertainment video. Okay, so we're riding through the neighborhood here, and I think I'm feeling the vibration. It's not really a vibe, it's more of like an oscillation, like the back of the truck's just kind of weeble wobbling. Maybe a bent rim, bad tire, or maybe even a misalignment between the tire and the hub, or the wheel and the hub rather. But I do feel not a vibration, it's definitely just like an oscillation back and forth. We're not gonna see it, we're not gonna feel it, because clearly you guys are looking at this on a TV set. But maybe we can visually identify it when we get this thing back up in the air. So I'm going back to the shop, and let's go ahead and pull this unit in and rack it up. Sequoia. Powering down. All right, let's go ahead and climb on out of this bad boy. Now, in yesterday's video, I spent a decent amount of time setting up the lift arms and whatnot, so we're gonna skip over that one on this particular Vijeo. Okay, the rack is set. Green subscribe button. Let's run this thing up in the all the way up. One more. Okay, looking good in the neighborhood. Let's set her on the locks. There we go. All right. So we had a weird, goofy vibration / wobble. Okay. So first, let's go ahead and check the condition of the tires and the wheels. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hang out right here, and we're gonna look past the tires and the wheels to a lighter area of the building, and that's gonna give us like a reference point. We're gonna turn that wheel and look for a wobble or a hop, which I do not see. So come over here on the side, Look for a sideways wobble and a hop, which I do not see. Okay. Do the same thing. Looking for some lateral run out, and we can look past right here for a hop, which I'm also not really seeing. Okay. Let's check the rears. Oh, these are harder to turn. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much there. Okay. Let's check this last side. No hops, no wobbles, no bulges. Tires are good. It's not the tires. Okay, well, let's go ahead and pull these wheels off, and then so we got a wheel lock with spline drives and a actual lock. Let's pull the wheel off and then check the customer's brake job and see what we can do about that grease situation. Oh, come on. This is gonna be fun. These splines are all getting stuck in the drive tool. Oh, oh my God. Seriously? Okay. Hey, do you guys want to see a whole video about taking wheel lug nuts off? Because that's where this is shaping up to be. Seriously. This is the tool provided to me. Okay.
Hey, how we doing?
We're not doing this 20 more times. Yeah, not at all. Give me that. That one. Nope. That one. Yep. And this is the one. Yeah, look at that. So whenever we put some torque on that, it's getting stuck. That one's doing the same thing. Let's try mine. Much more better. Okay, back on track. Yay. Let's try this again. Oh, so much more better. And if the lug nuts weren't hard enough to get off, now we can do the wheel lock. Yeah. Beautiful. Raw. Okay then. All right, so let's see what we've got going down here. Customer installed some brakes and we got a squeaky noise. So we have some new brake pads in here, looking pretty good. What we don't have is a new set of rotors. We've got some rust encroachment into our pad area. See right there? That's where our noise is coming from. This new pad touching this rusted lip right there on the rotor. And same thing with the edge right there. I would bet that's what's up. We've got some hot spots forming here. We talked about that in some previous videos recently. All right, so we've got an incomplete service. Let's pull the other brakes off this unit, or the wheels rather, and see if we have a similar condition on the other 3 brake systems.
Is it leaking fluid?
Is it leaking fluid? No, it's not leaking fluid. It doesn't go in. The caliper, we're trying to put brake pads on and the caliper won't compress. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. she was on the phone with like a aftermarket warranty company. They like to find reasons to not pay out. Well, we're sorry, sir. Your coverage does not include sticking calipers. There's not supposed to be glue on them. We're gonna call that a failure to install properly, and we have to deny your claim based on that because calipers don't stick, they only leak. That's what my computer Google search says. That's what it says. That was called sarcasm right there. That's not what they were actually saying. That was my comedic rendition of the agent on the other line, because that's how they sound. They're snivelly and snarky, and they act like you're an inconvenience for utilizing the services that we sold you. Okay? Yeah, so you're gonna have to wait until the actual failure occurs, but we won't cover the brake pads or the rotor when it does. So it's actually gonna cost you more money. Anyway, looking at these ones over here, we're in a very similar condition as the other side. I wonder who made these pads. We may have a pad quality issue as well, because these brakes were kind of screaming at us. Well, that's upside down. This little clip right here, yeah, that's upside down. It's installed improperly, or I mean, the installation is improper. It was not installed properly. Let's check the other side. See if that clip is inverted or not. And it is not. Yeah, see how these little ears are sitting on the tops of the pads? Those ones, the ears are shoved down in there. These are 4 piston calipers, by the way. There's one here, 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 and here. There's a fluid passage between the two, so they equalize. And this is not a floating caliper. This is a fixed caliper. See, it just bolts right here to the steering knuckle. So that will stay fixed in position, and then the fluid will push pistons on both sides. It's much more effective than a floating piston style, because floating piston calipers tend to have just one piston or 2 on just the one side. These are running both sides, which is super awesome. Anyways, let's go pull the rears off. Hello there. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Are you on hold?
I am.
Wonderful. Alrighty, we're at the left rear. Let's get through this quickly. Like, pull this this wheel off next. That wasn't very tight. See that? That's not very tight. Ho ho! That's hand tight. Oh, and another. I wonder why it's vibrating. The wheel's not bolted on. We had 2 lug nuts that went click. 2. Okay, so that's not great. I'm over here driving around with no wheels bolted on. That's why I have life insurance. Oh my. Hey, we've got some Toyota brake pads here. It says Toyota Advix on it. Toyota Advix, okay. And let's see what's in here. Toyota brake pad. Look at here, no shim. There's no anti-squealer shim here. We've got another situation with a lip on the rotor. Listen. Feel that? Hear it? It's a worn lip on the rotor, and then we slapped some pads on it. So we've got friction material riding on that lip and that lip right there, creating a potential vibration and a noise. So I don't think grease is going to fix the problem, but let's go check out the last rear tire and see if the wheels are bolted on. Is this one tight? Sure. Is this one tight? Yes-ish. Click. Reverse click. Sounds good. Okay, so this wheel was bolted on effectively, but that left rear, not so much. Not great. Not great. Let's see here. This one is This one here is looking similar. Let's go see. Yep, Toyota pad. There's no shim on it. No grease. Okay. I don't know which one of those wheels was making the noise, but they all four suffer from the same, kind of the same situation here. I don't hear a squeak. Well, we heard it when we drove. Okay. So next, let's take a look at those alignment tab things that they wanted welded onto the frame. So back to what I was telling you guys about earlier. Here is the eccentric cam bolt right there. So you see that big washer looking deal? There's another one on the other side, and that bolt has a flat cut in it, so nothing can rotate on the circle part of the bolt. I think you can't see the flat on this one on the other side. No, not really. It's not on the thread section. But what we do is if we were to turn this bolt, these cams will stay locked to the bolt due to the flat that is on the bolt. And so when we rotate it, this cam is going to act against this tab right here and that tab right here. And it's going to change the position laterally of the center line of that bolt relative to this part of the frame structure. The bolt hole there is slotted left and right. So what we can do is rotate these, and it's going to change the left and right position of this section of the control arm. The same thing will take effect on the front side of the control arm, and since that control arm is a triangle, we can manipulate this side and this side to change the position of the pivot point, which is how we generate alignment numbers. If we were to bring both of these bolts inwards, we can change the vertical orientation of the tire. If we change it, move those outwards, we can negatively change the vertical position of the tire. So we can adjust caster and camber with these two bolts right here. Now, the reason I think my guy wants to change them is it appears he just had an alignment done. You see those witness marks for the bolts? Now, what they did is they didn't take the weight off the vehicle before trying to adjust that. And when they turned it, that cam bent this tab over. See that bent over tab right there? Someone went in there with a hammer and tried to chisel it back out to no effect because it's already been damaged. So the guy wants me to take this out, cut these off, put the new ones on, and then weld them to the frame. So we need to do one there at least, one here for sure. Look at that one. That one's annihilated. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Yeah, you gotta take the weight off of these if you go to adjust that. You don't want to bend the tab. Somebody screwed this up royally. That's how it's supposed to look. See how both sides of that cam are captured within those tabs? It is not supposed to look like that. And it's not even sitting flush anymore. Look at that, see it? Not good. So now we're putting a side load on the bolt, which is not great. So the question is do I accept or decline that? Well, we need to do two of them. And if I'm going to weld on the frame, I've got to remove the control arm, because if I don't, the heat will soak through on my weld and could actually melt the rubber in those control arms. I could probably do it without taking the control arms out, but the bolt still has to come out. We still have to do an alignment, and we'll have to cut that off and then grind it flush and then paint it. Actually, no, cut it off, grind it flush, weld the new tab on, then paint it, and then put it back together. Then we have to do a wheel alignment afterwards. That's a lot of work for somebody's oversight. Yeah, okay. Well, I will estimate it. Additionally, what I'm gonna estimate is finishing this brake job properly with a set of rotors. Yeah, let's see what else is on there. So the next thing is to check spark plugs and the belt. That was on the list. You dropped something. See, he tried to be sneaky and he crept by under the camera. It was like doing like a low crawl, and then he dropped something. Yeah, sorry, your cover's blown there, brother. All the way down-ish. That will do. Okay, let us... Hello, iForce 5.7 liter V8, the Ocho. And taking a look at the belt, I think it's fine. It looks like it's been there for a while, but I don't see any cracks in it. I think that belt's just fine. And the spark plugs, those get checked based on mileage. We don't inspect with tools. Yeah, anything, most shops and most technicians / mechanics, it's the same thing. We'll inspect it for free if we can see it. If we have to take things apart to get to it, then we have to charge you labor, and that's kind of the unspoken sort of rule or whatever. Anyway, we kind of now know sort of what they want with the alignment stuff and what we think we need to do with the brakes. Let me go make an estimate for this, and we're gonna see what we're gonna do next. Okie dokie, I have received some word. I've got the receipts, and here's what we're gonna do. The customer has declined the frame repair with the welder and the grinder and the spray paint. So we're gonna do some fluid work on it, diff oil in the back, and we're gonna do an oil change on it because it's 2,000 miles overdue for its oil change service. Not great. We're not gonna do anything with the belt. We're not gonna touch the spark plugs. We're gonna bolt the wheel back on, make that tight because that's kind of important. We are going to replace the front and the rear brake rotors only and remove all of the rust off of all the surfaces, and that will reduce the run out in the wheel and hopefully tamp down that vibration. So I think for the remainder of the video, and since we've done like piles of brake work, I told you guys it comes in threes, not twos, not ones, but threes. This is the third brake job this week that I ended up with. It's the roll of the dice. I didn't do it on purpose. That being said, we're just gonna do the fronts and not the rears, number 1 for time and number 2 for time, and probably number 3 for time as well. We don't need to have another 4-wheel brake job video, we just don't. So what we're gonna do is take a look at, in-depth look more, at the 4 piston calipers as opposed to the floating calipers. And I'll show you guys a clever trick on your Toyota so that you do not end up damaging your brake lines while attempting to do a brake service on your Sequoia or other Toyota with non-floating front calipers. All right, let's get after it. Okay, we're here on the driver's side. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this whole assembly over here so we can have some better access to what we're accessing. Now, I told the fella I would put some grease on his brakes. Come here, you. We will grease these pads while it's here. So in order to get these pads out, what we have to do is remove this little clip right here. This clip goes into a hole in this pin right there. See that pin? This pin and this pin are what locks these brake pads into position within the caliper itself. Is that making sense? Now, normally in this situation where we're just doing some rotors on this, I would just unbolt this caliper and pull it off to the side. But since we need to get some grease on this, I guess we're just gonna pull it down completely. So this guy has to come out, because like I said earlier, it's supposed to go in like so. It was bass-ackwards, so no big deal. Now, we can pull out this other pin at the top, and at this point, there is nothing holding on to these brake pads. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put the screwdriver in, and we're gonna pry against the pad away from the rotor. I wanna compress those pistons ever so slightly. That'll just help us out, make things a little bit easier to manipulate later on. So, with those pads free, gravity, we can then just slide the pad right on out. So we got a shim on this one. Front's got a shim. That's the older shim. Okay. Now, what we've got going on now is we've got an old rotor surface with a new set of pads. So when this broke in, this pad broke in to this surface here. We need to break this pad in again to another surface. So we're gonna set this aside for now, and we're gonna revisit these brake pads when we go to reinstall them. And I'll show you how we can recondition this for another break-in series. It's kind of got some grease on it, but not really. Okay. Any hoosers? Now, with the brake pads removed, we just have a caliper hanging out here, floating around. It's fixed because there's no caliper bracket. It's just bolted straight to the steering knuckle. We talked about that earlier. You can see how we've got a hard brake line right here. So if we unbolt this and then we unbolt this, we have to basically bend and flex that line to get the caliper to clear away from the rotor. So what most people do is they just bend it and be like, yeah, whatever, that's fine. All you gotta do to not damage anything is take that bolt out right there. That's it. Real simple. So then we do a little tactical reload here. Here we go. And we're gonna take off this fastener right there. And then, hang on, that one and that one. So we just need a bigger impact gun and we'll go to work. Here, let's make some loud noises. Bottom one. Easy peasy, right? So then, look at there, now we're floating. But yeah, that's fine. A couple little hammer taps here and it should pop right off, okay? You ready? 1, 2. Nope. 1, 2. There we go. It's off. Phew, look at all that. Look at right here. There's rust falling out of the rotor. That was all in there in the hub face, causing run out. Not good. So let's take our cookie. This is our little Ziz wheel pad, and we're gonna clean all this business off of here. We're gonna get around the hub and the hub face and remove said rust. This tool's gonna get some miles on it today.
Not done yet. We've got to get the small area in between right here. Otherwise, we'll have run out. That's bad.
Okay, let's get the debris out of here. Shiny. Okay, so I'm unboxing or unwrapping, unpackaging this new rotor, right? And it came in a bag. One thing we need to note is this thing is covered in an oil film. That oil film is here so moisture can't contact that bare metal, see that liquid, and cause it to rust out. So we have got to clean that oil off of this rotor. Otherwise, when we put our new pad back on, what's going to happen? All that oil is going to embed into this pad right here. That's not good because oil and friction do not mix. Yeah, that's the video title right there. Oil and friction do not mix. Okay. Now, for the ease of operation and to make this a simpler and cleaner procedure, watch this. We're just gonna flip this rotor around, hang it, and then we can spray it again. I should have just done the backside first, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead. Running out. It's not good. Come on, running low. That's it, we're all done. No more, another! I just can't help myself, guys. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Some things don't change, and some things do. Actually, on that note, I'd like to point out that change is the only thing that truly remains constant. Think about that. Change is the only constant. Once you can accept that, true peace can be found. There we go. So, now all we must do is take our caliper again, bring it back over, line her back up. 2 bolts. We're not done with this side yet. We can't just toss the pads back in because there's been some slight damage made. Now a lesser shop would have said, hey, sorry dude, we're not gonna put your rotors on, or your pads on a new set of rotors because now they're used pads, right? I'm not gonna do that. we're just gonna make those used pads new again. Click. I'll torque those with a torque wrench later on, okay? So, since it's brake pad reconditioning time, I'll move you guys over here some. Make my light turn off while I'm at it. There we go. We're gonna go back to our biscuit scissor wheel tool. We're gonna take this tool, watch this. We're gonna go over and cut away some of the surface, and then we're gonna chamfer the edges here around this pad. It's a little shinier on the edge where it was touching the rust. Maybe you guys can see it, maybe you can't, but it's not right. So, scissor wheel this off. Chamfer the edge. See the difference here? We've got a gloss here from running on that old rotor, and then we've got like a dull finish on this one. And voila, that is a reconditioned brake pad. Beautiful. Air. We have a contaminated, oxygenated breathing environment. Watch out, Dave. It's contaminated in here.
Contaminated?
It's contaminated. There's contaminated air from the brake pads.
Oh.
I was sanding down reconditioning pads. It's not asbestos. No, they quit doing that.
Did they?
Yeah, well, they said they did. They better have quit. I've been breathing this crap for years. Okay, it's time for that grease thing we were supposed to be doing. What I've detected so far is that the Toyota branded brake pads did not come with shims because these shims are old and these pads are newish. So I'm assuming that they had to reuse the shims. So here's how we're going to do this. And I don't like doing this. I'm not a fan of grease because I prefer pads that do not require grease. We're going to put a little bit on the pad, right? And what that's going to do is keep this shim from wanting to move around on the pad, okay? It's gonna arrest some vibrations. So then, that's not gonna work up there. Then, we're gonna put a little bit right on here. Some right over there. Paint it on nice and thick like. Yay. Now we don't need it on the bolt holes, we don't need it here. We don't need that. It'll be an oily, greasy, nasty kind of mess. So we take this pad, slide it back in, and make sure it's pointed the correct way. You can put these in backwards, where the backing plate is actually touching the rotor. And that's a real good way to ruin your brand new rotor, which would be bad. We don't want to do that. Throw some grease on it. Yep, need more grease. I'm running low on my grease dipping stick. Try it again. We chose green this time because it's good. I'm also not greasing my pad surface there. What are you doing? Okay, so we'll get one pin partially installed. Second pin, that's a partial. We've got to do it that way for this bottom little clip thing here. That goes in the hole, a little hook deal. And you got to make sure that those little ears stay on top of the brake pad. This is here to spread these pads away from each other so they're not constantly making contact with the brake rotor. You have to make sure that the holes for this little back pin, the rear one, let me show you. Those holes, light. The holes have to be the proper orientation. If they start like here, you might have a hard time getting that guy to go in. So get the holes correct on the top and the bottom, right? Put one in and then put the little centerpiece in, and then our top piece, we just kind of flex it some, put it through the hole, and then there we go. And that is pretty much all that retains our brake pads, is gonna be this little piece here and these two pins, that's that. So that is one side all said and done, good to go. Now we're gonna go knock out the other side real quick like, and I think we're gonna be finished. I may do the rears in ultra high speed lightning fast motion, just so you guys can see that it's done, or I may not, but let's go over here and finish the fronts. Yeah, I'm undecided yet. I don't know what I wanna do. It's always time. There's always a time constraint in my life. That's what happens when you wear many hats. I wear many, many hats. Put that in, get in there. There we go. Let me move this tire. Put that back, very good. It's ready for its close-up. Ding, ding, both are done. Keeping all that. Let me get my screwdriver. Same thing as the other side. Tip of the driver against the rotor. Spread the caliper open ever so slightly. Now, since these are in one chamber, because they communicate between the sides, when you push one piston in, it may push another one out. See that? So you could have to work both sides slightly until the pistons physically stay in. That's a good amount of space. Same condition as the other set, okay. So, looking up. Pull that guy out. And then looking down from more up, let's get the caliper bracket bolts, or caliper bolts rather. Formula 1. That's one in French. No. Un, deux, trois. En français. Okay, flipping this guy around, you guys can see now. Taking effort to not tweak the steel line. We've only got so much flex here, okay? So let's go back over here. Let's get this rotor removed. Not gonna come off. Figures, no big deal. Dong. Dong.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, we both had to stop and watch that thing do the thing that it just did.
I don't want to step on it.
I mean, it was funny to watch too. It's like a big Euler's disc. And now we must make it more shinier. That's odd. Bunch of rust. Divots from rust coming through the holes in the rotor. That's what that is. And beautiful. Since I threw my my last can across the floor, we need a new one. And if you need a new one, check out rainmanauto.com. We got these in a 12-pack, super good, ultra low price deal. Shiny. Okay, rotor coming in, hanging it up. Where's my brake clean? More shiny. Actually, shiny's not the goal. This is an act of self-preservation. Again, we're not embedding oil into our newly reconditioned, new, used brake pads. Flip. It's not empty yet. We're not throwing this one. Okay, caliper time yet again. What are you saying there, Dave? Are we done? Oh yeah, we're done enough. Yeah, go ahead. Leave one of them open. This one. I hate having the doors shut while we're open because then we look like we're not open to the passerby. Yeah, you can pull the rest of them down. What's that? Did he give you the ticket for that? I think he gave it to Lauren in the office. I knew he walked in with it. It's in there somewhere. Oh, wrong way. What I just did was super, uber, ultra duty risky. If I had had a misalignment, that's how you get a cross thread. I probably should not have done that. Or more importantly, I probably should not have done that on the internet. It sets a bad example for the youngins, and we don't want to do that. Okay, air, we'll clear this out. High volume ducted fan action. It's also good for cleaning the floor. All right, back to our favorite part, applying the lubricant. We have to have lubricant. So well, we don't. I'm not a fan of lubricant, but my guy insisted, so we're gonna use lubricant. See, this is why folks stay away from OEM parts too, because like, look, they didn't even give us the shim on this. It was as cheap as possible. And brakes are so competitive in the marketplace that the aftermarket outperforms the OEMs in almost every measurable metric. Because you got to think about it. The manufacturer, they know that that's a wear item. They don't really care for it. It's not a performance-based thing. And so they're going to install the lowest possible cost items, right? Then when you order pads, well, you didn't order shims, you just ordered the pads. So they're not gonna give you the shims. But the aftermarket, like we learned earlier on previous videos, they do always give you the shims. Did I just hear a dirt-da-dur over there? Was that a dirt-da-dur? What are you dirt-da-durring there, fellas? The guys are dirt-da-durring. It was a derp-a-derk-a-derk-a-der. Someone's gonna get offended. They're like, oh, you can't say that. You're gonna offend all the derka-derkas. I've gone too far with my derka-ders and my brake pad. Just leverage that out some. Maybe it's not in far enough. There we go. I just had to be gentle with it, gingerly and gentle. So now we got our spreader dealio thing installed the proper way, not the inverted way. And no shade on the guy that did it. You know, I don't say these things to disparage the other party. I use the example as I see it, so we can learn from the example and then educate ourselves to prevent similar failures in our own futures. Monkey see, monkey do, right? Well, in this case, it's monkey do, then other monkeys see, and then other monkeys no longer do. So it's the inverse. It's an inverse of the saying. Inverse means opposite, in case somebody didn't know. So there's someone out there that didn't know. But now you've got a new vocab word, inverse. Okay, that's good. Other side is good. We have it all shiny. You guys heard the Dave. The Dave has decided that the doors are getting shut, which means we're about done, which means I don't have time to do the rear brakes, and you guys probably are running out of attention span. And we've seen these a billion times over. There's really nothing to look at except for this wannabe Land Rover airbag system back here. Anyway, guys, that being said, I think we're all done here. We're gonna knock this out in the morning. I'm gonna drain all the oil out of the rear end, wherever that's at, and we gotta do an oil change on it, and we're good to go. So I do not believe I have anything more to offer you on this particular video, other than a thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video. End of Sequoia. Redo brake job, end of transmission.